I know.
Whatever.
You're not supposed to be 200 yards in reach of
We
the
are
building.
back on the Morning Brew with Friends, and our buddy Steve Westman,
Hello.
the Curious Townie, is here.
I am here.
And you have been a Townie not just here. You've been Townie going to Truth or Consequences.
Right. You know, I've written about Truth or Consequences a couple of times because it's
a fun little town.
It's a fun little town. There's a lot going on down there. You got all the hot springs. You have really good food. You've got great art thing going on.
In some of the best thrift stores.
Really
I'm
good
totally
thrift
a
stores.
fan of vintage clothing.
Yeah.
And especially vintage ties, right? Go figure, right? And they have the best, like in Albuquerque, all the vintage ties you can find anymore just from the 70s, the big fat ties. But if you want to find the cool, like, Mad Men 60s skinny ties, there's like these stores all over TRC. They're packed with that fun stuff.
There's actually a spot down there that has some of my grandfather's old ties.
Oh, that's very cool.
So
that is very cool.
Yeah.
So how did you end up down in TRC? What were you working on?
You know what? About 5 years ago, I had gone down for a friend's birthday, and it was a kooky little weekend. But we met some people. We wandered around, and I thought, this is really worth writing about. So when I was when IQ was still up and running, I did a really nice, fun travel piece on it. And then a few years later, I was invited for one of those fam tours. So I've done it twice, but it's a good 2-hour getaway.
Right,
It's
2 hours
easy,
away.
Easy.
And it really is getting to a different part of the world.
Right.
It is so much fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's it's a small town. And you know that when I-25 put the bypass by, it's like those old Route 66 towns.
Yeah.
So much of downtown kind of disappeared, but there's a coolness to it. I like it.
And it still has the old, the big wide boulevards through the middle of town.
Right.
You get the feeling that it was this fun
Broadway and Main Street.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And classic design of a town, and it's fun. But they have a big event coming up.
It's Fiestas. TRC, 65 years of TRC Fiestas, Truth or Consequences Fiestas.
Has it been 65 years since they changed the name?
It I
don't know when they actually
changed the name in 1950.
Okay. So that would be about right.
Right.
Yeah, here's when they actually changed the name. We have some photos of all of this. And this is one of the great New Mexico stories. It's like only in New Mexico would this ever happen. That the town was called Hot Springs because of all of the awesome hot springs.
Right.
The great hot springs they have. We were talking about the River Bend a minute ago.
Right,
some of the other ones. I've been to there's some other hot springs there too.
There are,
But there are plenty of some of my favorite hot springs around in TRC. And the high school is still called Hot Springs High.
It is.
But radio and TV being what it was in the 50s, they renamed the town Truth or Consequences because of the TV show.
Ralph Edwards.
Right. And he still comes back.
Well, not anymore.
Well,
he passed away in 2005.
Right. He was coming back, though, until
But he
then.
came back for 50 years. He came back every weekend to celebrate that thing.
Yeah.
The town was incorporated in 1916, became the seat of Sierra County in like 37. But in 50, to commemorate 10 years of the Truth or Consequences TV show going, they asked cities around the
who would change
state
their name?
who would change their name, and Hot Springs said yes.
Yeah.
So we got a town named after a game show.
Which is really great.
It is. It's a cool story. But their fiestas, we were talking back in the green room about the feel of a county fair.
Right.
There's something really sweet about it, but I think in upcoming decades, kids aren't going to know what a county fair is.
Yeah.
And that's what it is down there. It's their fiestas. It's their county fair. There's a great rodeo every night. The Ralph Edwards
I love
Park.
to go see rodeos.
You do.
Yes.
You've got good boots for rodeos.
I do. And I've got experience riding horses.
Right.
I love it. And
Right.
Other than the state fair here in Albuquerque, it's hard to go see a real rodeo with real working cowboys.
Right. And Sierra County has, there's a lot of, everybody kind of comes together from Hillsborough, all the I can't even name that little town, anyway, blah, blah, blah.
But yeah, everybody does come into TRC for the big weekend.
Yeah.
And it packs the town. So basically get your hotel room now.
You do need to get your hotel room now. There's a photo that we'll show at the end. There, pre-World War II, there were 40 hot spring spas down there. There are now 10 working hot spring spas. And there's really great places to stay. I think people know I'm very fond of the Blackstone. But there's the Sierra Grande, which Ted Turner recently
course.
purchased.
And he actually did you know that that's all solar powered?
It is, yeah.
Which is really cool. He actually put all solar panels on this hot springs.
And
the whole thing is green energy. I love it.
And he's opened the restaurant again, which has been off and
I
on,
didn't know that.
with a really great new chef in there out of Las Cruces. So the dining experience at the Sierra Grande is up and really good again.
That's good, because it was one of the great Route 66 restaurants.
Right,
really. You know,
right.
It was like not a diner. It was actually a gourmet, awesome place.
Right. You know, and then, you know, there's other places to dine. I will always say the best eggplant parmesan at Bella Luca. The steakhouse, Los Arcos.
Oh, Los Arcos.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I lived in Socorro for a while when I was in college.
Right.
And like the big weekend out was going to Los Arcos.
Yeah. Bobby Middleton, still running the place.
Oh, good. Good.
But
And
so it's a fun weekend. Ralph Edwards Park is packed full of vendors, stuff going on. There's a skateboard competition.
fun. Well, we got some photos of all of this. Here's
We
the
do.
skateboard
There's a
competition.
skateboard competition right there.
Yeah, and it's not. No, there's some of the food.
That's the Midway at Ralph Edwards Park,
You can't beat that.
which rests right on the river, which I'm hoping there's a little more water in there right now. This is part of the parade.
Looks like fun.
I love me a parade. And they also have the Miss Fiesta pageant.
Of course.
And they crowned her that weekend. The firefighter. I had to throw a bear in there. These are just people having fun at the Fiesta. And they do. You watch the people that live in Tier C. They have a blast this weekend.
It's a party, and it is a party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vintage cars, and then we have some older photos too. I think, right?
We do. You know,
Yes.
there's Bob Barker and
Is that
Ralph
really-
Edwards.
Is that really Bob Barker?
Yeah.
Wow. You can tell like that jawline.
Right.
Other than that. Wow.
Now he's got that white hair.
Right.
That's Ralph Edwards on a horse.
That's pretty great.
I think
It
there's
must have been wonderful to have been like a game show celebrity back in the day where
Right.
you could do this stuff and
Right.
have fun at it.
You know, and so this is part of the parade, and you know, Carrie Tingley Hospital started in Truth or Consequences, and
I think I knew that, but forgot that.
it's a really that's one of my favorite photos that we have up there because
Yeah.
you know it's such an iconic piece of New Mexico history.
Right. Yeah. The Carrie Tingley name, of
Right.
course, we all know.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't. But yeah, it's one of those things you forget that the history of.
And you live
of
down near
these-
Tingley Beach.
I live right near Tingley Beach. I know that Clyde Tingley was the mayor. But,
Yeah.
And people forget that the family came from there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
And-
like the Hiltons came from Socorro, New Mexico. People forget that.
You know, Carrie came to New Mexico to clear her lungs.
Right. It was a tuberculosis
Yeah.
hospital originally, if I remember right.
Right.
Yeah.
So for her to have her hospital in a town that was for healing, it's kind of cool.
Right. So booking hotels in Tier C for this big event.
Right.
Not easy because there's not that many of them.
There's a good amount, but I
there?
looked online this morning and they're starting to fill up. You go to the Sierra County website.
Okay.
It takes you to everything. You can find your restaurants there. You can find the art galleries there, but you can also find all the hotels on there
that
too.
little art scene down there is really exploding.
It's hopping.
Right.
They do an art hop every second Saturday of the month, which is really fun because late in the evening you go in, and everybody's got wine or mulled cider or Kool-Aid for those non-drinkers. But
Yeah, it's
as you
fun-
see, I love the town. It's
Right.
it's fun.
It's a fun little spot. It's a chance to get out and see really kind of a classic small town fair.
Yeah,
and county fair. There's rodeos, skateboard competitions. My favorite, the
Right.
Midway with all the food,
Corn dogs,
all of it,
corn dogs,
parades,
and beer.
and beer. Sounds like a good time to me. We'll see you there, Steve. We'll
Check
be
out
back
their
in a-
website. There's good stuff going on.
We'll be back in a couple of seconds with our friend Carrie from Baby Urge to tell us all about how to rent a crib.
She's got a cool story.